Kia ora. Welcome to the RebeccaAnneKnits podcast, episode 3. Happy New Year! Sorry it's taken me so long to get back. It's been just so busy having all my family home and the holidays, and we've been away camping. This has been the first opportunity I've had to come back and record, so welcome. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to everyone who has found me and subscribed and made comments and liked my videos. It's been so encouraging and I so enjoy making them, so it's really great to be able to be back. I thought I would just do a regular podcast for you today, just sharing what I've been working on and what I've finished and what's some plans, and also share my 2023 stats with you. I do plan to make everything I made in 2023 video, but that may not be until my kids are back at school next month. It just depends if I can get a window to record it, because I need a little bit more time for that one. We'll see, but I thought I'd share my stats with you today and what I'm planning and what I have been doing. So let's get into it. What am I wearing to begin with? This is the faux set. It's a tee by Knitty McCurly. I didn't show you, it's just a little cropped tee. Made with 3 colours of DK weight yarn, and yeah, there was a faux set make along earlier in 2023, and I participated in that. It's really fun. It's like quite textured, two color work. There's 3 colours throughout, but 2 colours at a time with the colour work, and it's just really cute. I really enjoy wearing it over dresses. That's about all because it's really cropped. But yeah, it's really cute. I like it, and I love the colours. Deep blues and pinks, all about it. All about it. So what have I been finishing? What have I been working on? First off, I'll show you my December Lento. I was kind of like, had I finished this last episode or not? I think I can't have. I must have been close though, so I will show it anyway. This is my December Lento, which if you've watched my previous episodes, you know that I made with yarn that I won from the Let's Lento Cow with Amy Pelko and the Craya Bayer. It is hand-dyed yarn by Two Mucky Yarns. It's 100% merino, and it was the colourway called the Duke from her Bridgerton collection, and I held it with some mohair that was originally undyed, and I dyed it myself to match because I couldn't find anything to purchase that didn't detract from the gorgeousness of the original yarn. So yeah, it's turned out really cute. I didn't fold the collar on this one. I just knit the 18 rows and I've left it up, so it's kind of like a mock neck length. Hard to say that. Which is different for me. I don't usually do high neck things. I usually prefer a lower neckline, but it looks really cute, I think. And it's got just a straight sleeve. I didn't do any decreases until the cuff, where I did a rapid decrease, half the stitch count, and did a little rib cuff. And it is cropped. It's not full length, but I don't really wear full length sweaters much. I've got a really short torso and I wear high-waisted pants most of the time and crop tops. So it's good. I really like it. I'll pop a photo in of her. I haven't really done modelled photos actually of this yet, so maybe I won't put a photo in unless I take some before I edit this. It's been too hot to wear fluffy jumpers. Yeah, it's supposed to be 28 degrees Celsius today, so I don't even think this will last very long. But I love it. I'm really happy and I'm really stoked with it as my final Lento. And I have to say, I feel so free being finished with the Lentos and not taking that into this year. It was a really fun exercise doing a Lento a month, but yeah, I feel so much freedom in the fact I can just pick to knit whatever I want to, and sign up to whatever test knits I want to, and not to be concerned about how long things take or casting on the next one. I can just take it at my own pace, and there's a lot of freedom in that, and yeah, I'm really stoked. I challenged myself, but I am not doing that again this year. Definitely not. I am thinking about doing like a soccer month this year, but that's a whole lot less knitting than a sweater. Moving on, other FO is my duotone sweater. Woohoo! Here is my duotone. It is gorgeous and beautiful. I finished this on the 31st at about 9 p.m. It was the test deadline was the 2nd, and I knew I was driving home from camping on the 1st, and my daughter's birthday was on the 2nd, and I knew I needed to get it done by the end of the year. So I did. Just squeaked in. Yes, so this is lovely. It's, again, too hot to wear it really, but I do have model photos, so I will put a photo up of this one wearing. I did the View 2, which was a regular 1x1 rib neckband, where you could do a faux rib, and I-cord finishes. So I just have I-cords on my sleeves and on my body, which I quite like. Yeah, it's quite oversized. I've actually made size 1, which is because that's the size I signed up to test, because that was all that they needed people for. And I thought it was going to be a really tight fit. I thought, oh, looking at the pattern, the ease on this, it's going to be like 0 ease. But actually, I've ended up with quite a lot of ease, which I'm really happy about, because it fits great. My gauge was on point. My stitch gauge was actually correct. So I ended up with 116 centimeters diameter when it was finished, and I don't actually know on the top of my head what it was supposed to be. But anywho, I love it. It's great, and yeah, I really enjoyed the process of knitting it. It's really fun doing the in situ I-cords, which are on the front and on the back, and all the way down the sleeve, and doing this, like, this one's not as pretty as this side, hold on, this like seamless I-cord that picks up. You do like a 3 needle bind off that creates an I-cord over this shoulder here, and it continues seamlessly down the sleeve. It's just so pretty. I'm like, I did that. Yeah, go me. It's a really fun pattern with some really cool techniques in it. It is due to be released on the 11th, so go grab yourself a copy if you want. It's a DK weight. I've held a fingering with a Surrey alpaca. The Surrey is by Mama Willing, and the fingering was a knit crate yarn from when I subscribed to them, which was a linen, silk and merino blend. And the idea behind the pattern is that it's duotone, so you have contrasting colours between your fingering and your fluff, and so you get this really dramatic marl throughout, with like all the I-cording and edging just being in a single colour. And mine is much more subtle because I used real tonals, but it can be really dramatic, or it can be quite subtle. You could do it in a single colour as well if you chose. Yeah, but you do need to use, well, I guess you don't if you do a single colour. But the with I-cord you only use the one strand. I'm holding it on. The one strand, the solid colour strand, you don't I-cord with both strands, so you kind of do need to be two-stranding for it to work effectively. The only other mod I made is that I held my fingering weight double for my neckband and my I-cords, which actually called to hold it single, but it was just too floppy and the gauge was just way off because I'm quite a loose ribber, and so it just didn't look great. So I ripped that out and held it double, and I'm much happier with that. So that's my duotone by Rachel Costello Knitwear. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I will put a link in the description box, and so you can get your copy if you're interested. It was a really fun knit and really fast knit. It was good. I think I wrote down, it took me, I started it in November, and it took me, I took 44 days to knit this, but I worked on it very intermittently, very intermittently, whereas I took 17 days to knit this Lento, and I kind of worked on it half time because I was doing my, what was I doing? My Sweetshop Blanket. I had my advent knitting going. So, and I couldn't work on this until I had finished this, and I had the Daft Days test knits before this test knit, so this kind of got bumped, like I cast it on and then it kind of didn't get touched for quite a while. because other things had to come first, and it just squeezed in. So I'm really happy with that, really happy with the result, and I look forward to wearing it when it's not 28 degrees. The other thing that I'm calling an FO, but it's really still a whip, is my Sweetshop Blanket from my Advent knitting. So I, as you know, was knitting this throughout December with my Hobbit inspired Advent from the Scan and the Stitch. I completed all 24 days up until I've completed day 24 on day 24 on Christmas Eve, and I've decided to put it aside and wait until the weather cools down before I knit the other half. So each of these squares used half of one of my 20 gram mini skeins, and so I will be duplicating this whole thing again with the other half. There's just no way I'm going to be able to show this whole thing in the screen. I'll put a photo in. I did a flat lay of it when I finished. Here we go, you get some kind of idea. I haven't woven in any of the ends, but that's okay because it's not finished yet. I was a bit over it by the time it got to Christmas Eve, and it was just so hot to be working on a worsted weight blanket. So yeah, I didn't weave in all the ends, but that'll happen. You can see they're a bit chaotic. Oh well, it's all right. I love it. It's really gorgeous. It's going to be a great size, I think. I have went up a needle size. It was written for 4mm. I'm using 5mm, just because I wanted a bit more of a drapey loose gauge with the garter stitch rather than it being really dense. Yeah, so it's gorgeous, huh? It's just gorgeous. So that is on hold. It is sitting over the back of my desk chair, looking beautiful, waiting for the cooler weather to come. Probably like Easter time I will pick this up again, and I doubt I will work on it as in a square a day, because actually that was it took a lot of knitting time. Like I found that each square was taking between 1 and 2 hours by the time that life was happening in between, and I felt like it took over like the majority of my knitting time for each day. And although I really enjoyed that throughout December, I don't want it to be that way, so I'll just do one when I feel like it, and have it done. I mean, I could even do it through like the winter solstice, knit the other half in June over midwinter Christmas. Maybe I'll do that, though I kind of feel like I want to use it before then, so we'll see what happens with the knitting queue, like what inspires me before then and what I want to knit on, because I can knit on whatever I like. Hooray! So that's all my FOs. Whip wise, what have we got going on? I mentioned last episode about the next test knit that I was doing, the Irene Sweater, so I have started that. So I'm just going to put on my lip balm because my lips are really dry. Okay, Irene Sweater. This is another test knit. Who is it for? I can't remember. I will put it in the description box. This is her first design. So she is an up and coming designer. Here we go. We have a yoke. We have, well, yeah, I've joined in the round, so you can see it's this gorgeous like pearl bump and slip dip stitch pattern, which I'm finding very easy because I did the dip stitch when I made my cargill sweater for the Cray Bear, and that was like dip stitch everywhere. So just having it intermittently, it's lovely. I like it. Let's have a look if you can get a better look of that, at that texture there. Yeah, so it's really quite simple, sort of normal drop shoulder construction. You knit the back panel and then you picked up across the shoulders and at the front, and knit the other front and then join them, and now I'm in the round. Yeah, so it's going well. It's really fun knit. I cast this on January 1st. This was my like New Year's Day cast on. We were driving home from camping. I had a 5-hour drive, and I'm like, I'm just going to cast on. So I did. It was great. And yeah, it's going really well. This yarn is 100% New Zealand wool, produced by Skeins, my favourite local, not local, online yarn store. Yep, just 100% wool, 105 metres for 50 grams, and it's a hand wash. No, it's a machine wash. It's machine washable. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was a hand wash. It's not super wash. It's not super wash treated. It's, you know how there's two and one is more aggressive than the other? This doesn't feel super slick and like smooth like super wash yarn. It's been machine wash treated. That's what it's called, I think. Anyway, this colour is called Alluring, and it's just this. It's blowing out a bit here. It's a pale pink. Really pretty. As you can see, DK weight. This was a limited edition colour. I don't think this wasn't a standard, like this base they use all the time, but it's not a colourway they produce all the time. I had it in stash. I have 10 balls, so hopefully that's enough because I can't get any more. I'm again making size 1. This one looks like it's going to be quite a bit less ease, to be honest. I mean, look. It doesn't look like it's going to be much bigger than this 0 ease faucet, and it's a drop shoulder. Hopefully I'll be able to block it out a bit. I haven't blocked this at all, of course, yet. Yeah, I knew it was going to be small, and I just figured if it's too small for me to model, I'll get my daughter to model it, because she's teeny. She's just turned 11 and very slim, and so I can get her to model it for me if it's too. I think it will fit me. I just don't know whether it will have much ease, and it's supposed to be like between 10 and 20 centimeters of ease, like quite an oversized look. But that's okay. She knew that when I signed up. I said, hey, I'm happy to test size 1, but I don't know if I'll actually be able to model it. So she's good with that, and I'm good with that, and if it doesn't fit me, I'll give it to my daughter, though I'm hoping I'll be able to block it out. Block it out big enough. The only mod I've made so far is that it's written for 4.5mm needles, and I found I needed to use a 5mm to get gauge flat. I seem to knit tighter flat, and so I'm in the round now. And have I changed my needles yet? I don't think I have, because I've only just joined in the round. That's right, I was going to do like a couple of centimeters so I could measure and then see if my gauge is now too big and whether I need to go back to the 4.5s. But yeah, so working on that. One moment, I have a child interrupting me. Apologies about that. My daughter needed some paper from the printer, which just happens to be in my yarn office space. Anyways, carrying on. We made it this far. We made it like 20 minutes without an interruption. That's probably pretty good. Irene Sweater. So that's going well. The due date is not it's not due until early March, so it's not pressured. I'm just working on that one when I feel like it, when it's not too hot, because it's a DK weight wool sweater, and it's the midsummer hotness. So yeah, I'm choosing my moments to work on that one. What else have I got going on? Christmas Day, I did a little cast on. I talked about casting this on in my last episode, so I have cast on a little cami, and that beautiful hand-dyed Icelandic yarn that I picked up on a D-stash. I changed my mind on the pattern I'm using. I was going to use what's it called? It's a Jessie Made pattern one. I already had that. It's stock and stitch anyway, and with a higher neckline. I decided to go with the ripple cami. The pattern's actually for fingering weight, and this is a DK weight, but it has modifications written into the pattern to use a DK weight gauge. So I thought, oh, that's actually quite useful, having a pattern that you can use DK or fingering, because I have lots of fingering and lots of DK that I want to knit into camis this year. So I purchased that pattern, and it's bottom up, which is a bit annoying. I have to say, it's just a little bit stressful when you've got a single skein and you're pretty sure that you've got enough, but you're not 100% sure, and you've got to start from the bottom up and guess your body length and hope that you still have enough to make the top. I'll put a picture in of the pattern, and it is like a little v-neck cami, so there's not a lot of knitting at the top with I-cord straps. I think they're I-cord or double knit, one or the other. Haven't got to that point yet. So there's not a lot of knitting sort of like above your bust line. There's only a little bit. So I can put the majority of the yarn into the body. It recommends 30 centimeters of body, which is around about what I usually knit for myself. Like I have 33 centimeters in my body of my duotone. So I am hoping to get to 30 centimeters with enough yarn left for the top. I did attempt a provisional cast on for this so that I could just do a little bit of the body, do the top, and then add the rest of the yarn to the body. I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know why. Because I did a provisional cast on for this one, because that's exactly what they suggested. I just couldn't get it to work. I think it was just because I was in a rush. It was Christmas Day. I didn't have a lot of time. I just wanted to get something cast on, and so I could just do a little bit of knitting, because I wasn't at an easy place in duotone, and it wasn't really in a transportable place. But this was at 115 gram skein, so I still have, when I measured this partway through yesterday, I still had 50 grams left, so I probably still have 40 grams left. It's falling apart, put it back in my little yarn pod thing. So I'm hoping, so I had 115 grams, so I'm hoping that just gets me over the line. I had 10 centimeters to go from this little marker, so probably got 6 centimeters left to go before I finish the body width length, and then I'll do the top, and hopefully it will be enough. If it's not, I might just painstakingly unpick from the bottom and just remove some, or I might try and find a contrasting. I'll probably just frog back. What I'm thinking I will do is I'll do 30 centimeters, and I'll do one front triangle, and I will weigh my yarn before and after doing that, and so I know how much I used for that triangle, and then I'll weigh what I've got left and see if I have enough. And if I don't, I will frog that first triangle, and I will rip back enough of the body to have enough yarn, which is a little bit double duty, but I feel like if I take the time and do the weighing and the measuring with this version, then I can keep notes, and then for any future camis I want to make, I will know I need 27 grams of DK weight to do the top of this cami. Do you know what I mean? And then, so if I take the time to work it out with this one, then I'll have that for the future, and I'll know I can just knit 70, you know, I can use 60 grams or 65 grams, or just save 20 grams to do the top, or whatever, you know. So fingers crossed it works out. I'm getting close. Hopefully, I think it's going to be too hot for sweater knitting today, so hopefully I will get that last 6 centimeters done. It's 3x3 rib, so it's a little bit slow. Like I would have smashed this out ages ago if it was just stocking stitch. I am slower at knitting rib, and it looks tiny, but I am convinced that it'll fit when it's all stretched out. I can't really stretch it well without it popping off the needles, but look how much it grows. Look how much it grows. It'll be fine. It'll be negative ease, like it's supposed to be a fitted camisole. Well, in the design, in the pattern pictures, it's not actually that fitted. It's actually done quite loose and drapey, but that's not what I'm doing. I probably could have gone up another needle size. I'm using a 4. Yeah, a 4. But I tend to rib quite loosely, and I didn't want it to be gapey and see-through. I wanted it to be relatively nice and dense. You know, because if you knit rib too loose and then you stretch it out, it just looks a bit naff. Yeah. Anywho, so far I'm happy with this. We'll see how we go with the rest of that. What else do I have on my needles? I have another New Year's cast on. This was a New Year's Eve cast on with my best knitty friend Helen. We have been plotting and planning for a while to knit shawls together. Helen gifted me this stunning alpaca silk yarn for my birthday back in June, and we've been scheming to knit a shawl together. So she has the same yarn but in different colours. Mine is pink and blue. So happy about this. I cannot remember what the pattern name is. Night Shift? No. Night Shadow. I can't remember what it's called. I will put it on the screen or in the description box below. It's a beautiful shawl. And we both had 2 colours with these 50-gram balls of alpaca silk. And then we went stash diving to try and find some other bits to go with it to make a multicoloured shawl rather than just a 2-coloured shawl. So I have these 2 colours are the ones that she gifted me. I have 2 of these, but the meterage on the pattern says I only need 1, so we'll see. I have those 2, and then we decided to do a fade, and so I went stash diving, and so my main portion of the shawl is going to be this deep inky blue. Can you see I love deep inky blue with pink? I'm surrounded by it today, seriously. And then I have this kind of fade going on. Where would I put this? So these are just from Stash. This is a locally hand dyed 50% merino, 50% silk. Who is it by? Maybe Myro Yarns? I think it was, no. I can't remember. It's from a Stash. I brought it on a D-Stash. I don't even know if I have the label. It's beautiful though, but I just couldn't, it's like so pink. I'm like, do I really want a whole top in that pink? Like, it's so, anyway, this is perfect for it. And then these 2 are 100% silk, just mini skeins that I had from a mini skein subscription I had for part of last year through, who was that, through Dreamfire Yarns. So this is Dreamfire Artesian Yarns, and it's 100% silk. So yeah, see if I can stack them all up. It's going to be really pretty. It's an asymmetrical triangle, and with like, I don't know, splashes of the colours through it, with the main colour being the dark. So we just did a New Year's Eve cast on. It's really, really tiny because I haven't picked it up since then really. I got quite giggly drinking bubbly wine, and so there was only so much that I could achieve on tiny needles with tiny yarn, and it's slippy yarn because it's silk, and I was just like, I'm going to stop now. I have this cute little stitch mark of this little birdie that Helen also gifted me on there. How cute is that? So yeah, that was my New Year's Eve cast on. We don't have a timeline for it. We're just working away at it when we feel like it. Helen also hasn't done much of hers. She has COVID currently, so not even feeling like knitting apparently, which is pretty sad. Hope she gets better soon. But yeah, so working on that one. Got it in a pink and blue project bag, because why not match your project bag to your project when you can? I've got this one in my Mama Willing project bag, which kind of goes as pink. And do I have any other whips? Just some socks. These are my handbag socks that I have just been carrying around with me, that I just do when I feel like it. And I had a really quiet shift at work. I work just helping out on the maternity ward at our local hospital in my off season because I'm training to be a midwife, and I had a really, really quiet shift the other night. There was like 5 women on the ward, and none of them really needed much. There was only 3 babies, and it was a PM shift, so it was in the afternoon and evening, and it was just chill. So anyways, I knit basically an entire sock. So these are going to have afterthought heels put in. I haven't done that yet, but I have the 2 socks done. This one I had already done. Yes, and this is the one I had half the cuff done when I started the shift, and I knit the rest of the sock on the shift. They're just kind of shorty socks. I have the heel is going to go in just at the end of this. Oh, sorry, all the ends purpley striped there. So it's just going to be like an ankle sock. And these are for a friend of mine. She saw my last pair of Scrappy socks when I posted them on Instagram. She's like, oh, those are so cool. And I was like, oh, I'll make you a pair. So this is all yarn by Mama Willing. just leftovers from my, what are they leftovers from? Last year's Advent. Yeah, 2023's Advent. I made a Radvent cardigan with that. And from other projects I've done, I had heaps of mini skeins and 50-gram skeins that I used for my Paul Klee sweater, which I've mentioned. I had mountains of leftovers from that because you literally only use like 10 grams of each colour or something. And I had 50-gram skeins. They're all beautiful, her plush fingering sock yarn. So yeah, sisters but not twins. I've used all the same colours in both, but just in different orders. Though I think I missed that one purple. That one brighter purple didn't make it into this sock. I must have finished it on this sock. Yeah. So they'll get some heels eventually, and I shall gift them. And then I shall start another pair. I was mentioning earlier about a sock cowl. So a beautiful designer and hand dyer that I follow online is Dandelion and Dogwood. Her name is Amy Loudon. She's the designer. She also goes by Little Tailoress Studio, and I've got some of her patterns that I desperately want to knit this year. They're based in the UK, and oh my goodness, their aesthetic is just beautiful. Pastels, pinks, speckles, oh, love it all. Not really affordable for me to purchase because of the exchange rate and shipping from the UK. I might save up for my birthday and treat myself to something. It's just expensive, but so is everything that's worth having, right? No, not true. But anyway, they are doing a year-long knit along that it's knit 24 and 24, so trying to knit 12 pair of socks, 24 socks in the year, so 1 pair a month, and whips are allowed. And yeah, you just post with the hashtag, and every month you go in the draw to win a sock set from Dandelion and Dogwood, so that's cool. So a little bit downgraded on a sweater a month, but a pair of socks a month, I mean, I can knit one of these I generally knit ankle socks for myself. I like shorties. I just don't wear the right clothes to wear long socks, hardly ever. So shorty socks just work well for me, and I enjoy it, and it's quick. And I have so much sock yarn. This whole cube here is single skeins, and the majority of it is sock yarn. And I have so many leftovers as well. I have like an entire drawer of leftovers. I have like 3 advents full of mini skeins, which I get them on sock yarn because it's the most versatile. I have a lot of sock yarn, so I shall not have an issue knitting them. I was going to get some skeins made into sock tubes this year. There's a lovely local business that's just down the road from me who will crank your skein into a tube for $15, and then all you have to do is add the cuffs and toes and heels, which is great. I was going to do that, but now I don't. I think that's kind of cheating for the cowl to actually have the tubes cranked. So I may not do that imminently now. I may just keep knitting away. For myself, I like to do 56 stitches on socks, and I usually do between 10 and 20 rows of rib, and then a little bit of leg, and then the heel. I like the fit of a heel flap and gusset the best, but I don't like knitting them that much, and so I tend to do an afterthought heel now because they fit okay, and they're so much more enjoyable to knit for me. I like just knitting on a silk tube. I do magic loop. I use 2.25mm needles. These ones are 60 stitches. When I knit for others, I tend to do 60 stitches, but I seem to have really narrow feet and small ankles, and so I knit 56 stitches for myself. Like I've mentioned, I'm quite a loose knitter when it comes to rib, and so I've actually started incorporating this really fine strand of knitting elastic. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's this really tiny fine strand of knitting elastic, and I hold that while I do the rib, and it just gives it like a denser gauge and a bit more stretch. It doesn't seem to stretch out as much, so that's working really well for me. Yeah, so I just hold that for the rib part and knit away. I did these toes wrong actually. I was supposed to be doing like a rounded toe, and you know, you decrease at the 4 points until you get to 16 stitches, and then you do every second row, and then you do every row and you get slightly more rounded toe. And I forgot to change my decrease rate and decrease to 8 stitches every second row, so they're quite pointy wedge toes, but I couldn't be bothered redoing them, so I'm hoping they will fit okay. This person has bigger feet than me, so I don't even know if trying them on will be useful, but we'll see. Hopefully they fit. I hate that about knitting for other people. I know her shoe size, but it's just a bit like, I don't know, the centimetres that the internet told me was how many centimetres it was for her shoe size just seemed ridiculously long, because you want negative ease on a sock. She's like a size 9, I'm like a size 8. I think she said 9.5 actually. And I always do 55 rows for my gauge, from wherever I start the foot, 55 rows, and then start the toe. That's perfect for me. So I was like, well, how much bigger does it need to be? So I did an extra 10 rows. So I did 70 rows. 70 rows, and then I started the toe. Because I felt like that's an extra 15 rows. That's like this much more length. That's enough. I feel like that's enough. Anyway, hopefully. If it's not, I'll tell her to let me know, and I will either lengthen them or shorten them. And I may go back and change the toes if they look really stupid once I put the heels in, or they seem way too long once I put the heels in. We'll see. They're a gift. They're fun. I will most definitely cast on another pair once these ones are finished. Don't know if I'll do another Scrappy pair. I'm getting a little bit overdoing all the ends. They're so fun, but they are a bit fiddly. The first sock I actually, I didn't weave in any ends as I went. I just left them all and then sewed them in at the end. That was a hassle. So this one I did the weave in Stephen and wove them in as I went, which I think is okay. I think it's going to hold up. So I just need to trim them. It is hard. Like, I've got a bit of a tension issue here where I did it. Sometimes it's a bit hard to keep tension like perfect when you're doing that. Anyway, that's what it is. It's just a pair of socks. They're going on your feet. They don't have to be perfect. But I am excited to enter the draw, try and win some dandelion and dogwood yarn. They don't have a humongous following online, but their stuff is beautiful. And I noticed this last year, they had a summer sale. So when it's their summer, they kind of don't die for a couple of months. They kind of have some time off, and they put everything that's still in stock on their website on sale. And so that's going to tee up perfectly with my birthday, which is in June. So I may put some monies aside and try and get something beautiful. I have a lot of yarn, and so it's not about the quantity anymore. It's about the quality, and it's about trying out designers and dyers that I have heard about, that have reputation, that I'm excited to try, that just do something different from what I've done before, or that just have a beautiful aesthetic. Yeah, so I have a lot of single skeins, and I have a lot of sweater quantities, so I really don't need any more yarn, but who can say no? I sure can't. I shall be buying yarn until my dying day, and hopefully knitting yarn until my dying day as well. I did a bit of a stash reorganise and shuffle in the last couple of days, and it's been really nice having a look at some of the beauties that I have and making plans. That's on my lips for now. It feels very few. There's only one sweater on the needle. That's crazy. I haven't had one sweater on the needles the entire 2023 because I've always had a Lento and then something else. One sweater, one cami, one socks, one shawl. Got a bit of everything. That's all good. Speaking of plans, what do I have planned? Well, I've still got the warp and weft, which I haven't cast on yet. I did take it with me camping, but I needed to get the duotone done, and so I didn't end up casting that on yet. I think that will be my cast on when duotone is finished. No, sorry, when Irene Sweater is finished, or the cami is finished. Unless I want to go straight onto another cami. Kind of need some smaller transportable knitting, and because it's so hot, I think I'm going to keep a smaller project on the needle. So I'll either be casting on another cami, like a ripple cami again, or I might make that Tolsta tee I talked about last episode with the linen quill. I buried it in here a bit because it was really blowing out this morning, so it's there. So I may do that. Tolsta tee, but yeah, I probably don't want to go straight to another fully ribbed project. I'll probably do that. And what else have I got planned? The other thing I really want, I've talked about the Scrappy sock now, and the other garment I'm desperate to cast on is the Marbury Cardigan. This is designed by Amy Loudon. I'll put in a picture. Stunning, right? It's made entirely in half fisherman's rib, which is kind of like a version of brioche, which I've never done before. Everyone says it's easy once you get the hang of it. It just takes a long time. But since this is the year of not having any timelines and not having to finish anything in a specific time and just take my time and do things, I thought I want to try and do some more elaborate, more complicated, more time-consuming knits this year, rather than just stock and everything. So I'm desperate to cast this on. I have some yarn right here in stash, which I'm going to use. I had a sweeter quantity of this, but I managed to acquire another couple of balls because half fisherman's rib is quite yarn hungry, so I need quite a lot more than I normally would. This is, which way around is the label? By Outlaw, who are a small yarn producer here in New Zealand, like very bougie yarns. It is commercial yarn, but a really small producer of really luxury fibres. This is called Nyx. This is not in production right now, but it is a Polworth and silk blend, 70% Polworth, 30% silk. This is a 100 gram ball. It's a DK weight, so you get 200 meters on this ball, and it's blowing out a little bit. This is pretty accurate. It's pretty bright. It's pretty. It's like a soft, bright coral. It is so pretty. I brought this when they had it on clearance because it was the last of the batch and they weren't bringing in a new batch currently, and so it was reduced in price from like $35 a ball to $20 a ball. And I looked at the colour online and I was like, I love pink, I hate orange. Is this yarn going to be pink leaning or is it going to be orange leaning? I don't know. But I took the plunge and I bought it because it was at such a good discount, and it's such lovely yarn. And it's stunning. Like, it's a statement colour, but it is stunning. I love it. I love it. Yes, and I managed to pick up a couple of extra ones on a D-stash. So I have 7. So hopefully that's enough. That gives me the yardage recommended for like the size 2. But I would ideally want to make the size 3. But it may just mean just a slightly more cropped body, which is fine because I generally need a cropped body. Yeah, so this, and I'm also going to hold it with, it's supposed to be a fingering held with a fluff to get a DK weight. This is already DK weight, but I managed to purchase from Yarn on Cone NZ this skein of kid mohair. What is it? 70% mohair, 30% nylon. So it's a nylon, not a silk, but I have silk in this, so that's okay. And this is a lace weight strand of mohair, but it's extra fine. It's way finer than normal mohair gauge. So there is 1400 meters in this 100-gram skein, which is exactly how much of this I have. So that sounds good. It's really light, because normally you would get 400 meters and 50 grams, so 800 meters, and this is 1400. So it's quite a lot. It's like half the length, half the weight. It's like thread, but it'll just give that little bit of fluffy halo without like diluting the color too much. But just giving it a little bit of fluffy halo, I think will be amazing. When I purchased this, I didn't realize that it was so lightweight, but when it arrived, I was like, oh damn, now what am I going to use that for? But now I have, now I have the perfect project. So I'm desperate to cast that on. The only reason I haven't cast it on yet is because I want to work on the Irene sweater, because I don't want to get to the end of February and be rushing to try and get it done, because my study year has started by then. On the 12th of February I start my first placement of the year, and I don't want any time pressured commitments going into that, so I want it done by then. So I want to consistently work on that, and it's too hot to be knitting sweaters, especially fluffy sweaters right now. And also I haven't purchased the pattern yet because she's from the UK and the pattern is in pounds, and it's like $18 New Zealand or something to buy the pattern, which it just feels expensive. So I mean, I don't know why when I fork out, you know, $35 for a hand-dyed yarn, skein of yarn, for one skein of yarn, and I can't even pay $17 for the pattern. Well, I will. I'm just haven't yet. Until I'm ready to cast it on, then I will. I can't fit that back in right now. Yeah. So that's my other plan. Yeah, the whoop and weft, the Mayberry, some more socks, another teal cami. You'll find out. You'll find out what else happens next time. I'm also very keen this year to knit a pressed flowers cardigan. I have yarn, also right here for that. This is Pulse, and also by Skeins, and it's kind of designed to be spin cycle-esque, though it's a commercially spun and dyed yarn. But it's got that kind of like colour change, hand spun vibe. So I've got this to use, and I'm going to use a soft grey. Which one was I going to use? I worked this out the other day. This one. I'm going to use this soft grey that's got a little sparkle in it with it for a pressed flowers pullover. This is like DK worsted weight, which is what that one is. The cardigan is a sport weight, which I also have plans to make. I have a 3 skein fade from Marmalade Yarn Co. It's hiding in here somewhere. Can you see that? Like there's a lighter one, a mid one, and a darker one of this like purpley, florally. So I'm going to use that for the cardigan, along with, what's my solid? My solid is this one. It's out of frame. Can I bring it in? Nope, the whole thing's going to fall down. This yarn here, this sort of like purpley grey beige. I'm going to do that at some point as well. But because I'm doing the warp and weft with real spin cycle, I kind of feel like I don't want this on the needles at the same time. So I think, because I was going to do that next, but I think I'll do the warp and weft along with the Mayberry, and then I can do this one later in the year. Because again, I can't wear DK weight sweaters at the moment. It's way too hot. Way too hot. So I'll wait. I'll do that one later. But there is plans. There is plans for everything, my friend. It's just a matter of what gets done first. So that is all the knitting I have to share with you, really. It's been fun. It's been good. So I thought I'd just share with you my 2023 stats now. I am going to make a Everything I Knit in 2023 video, and I'll probably share them again there. But I thought it doesn't hurt to let you guys know them too, just in case some people watch one and not the other. So, and this is my first podcast of the year, so why not? I'm pretty low tech when it comes to tracking what I make. I just have a note on my phone and with a little tick box, and every time I cut on a project I list it in there, and then when I have done it I click the tick box and it crosses it out. I actually printed it off and it kind of looks like this. I can put the photo in. I didn't mean to print it out like this, but anyway, I was trying to count it all up. This year I had categories of for others knits and for me knits. And yeah, I just keep a note on my phone. I make a Ravelry project page for everything I make. And I don't take heaps of notes in there, but just if I make any mods and to be able to put pictures and to remember what yarn I used. And that's basically it. So I went through my list and counted up what I have knit this year. Turns out I made 29 items for myself this year and 28 items for other people. So to break that down, for others, I made 7 pairs of gifted socks. I made 8 gifted sweaters, though 4 of those were child size for my 2 daughters. I have 3 daughters, but there was 4 sweaters made. What else did I do? I did 2 hats that I gifted, 2 shawls, like single skein shawl size scarves, and 6 baby items. Yeah, so that makes up what I have to for other people this year. And then for me, I made 29 items. 19 of those were sweaters, which kind of 10 lentos, well, I made 12 lentos, but 1 month was gifted to my daughters and 1 month was gifted to a friend, so 10 of those still remain with me. So 19 sweaters, 4 pairs of socks, 2 tees, 2 tanks, 1 blanket and 1 dress. So I did pretty good, I think. That is a lot of items. That is a lot of knitting in 1 year. That's definitely the most I've been knitting in a year. Yeah, so there you go. I will not go into too much detail about all of that here because that will be in the separate video. I'll also do a video on just the lentos, I think, because I'm not going to be able to go into the details of like 19 sweaters in one video. So yeah, I'll probably do like a separate lento video with all the yarn details and stuff with all of those, and then everything I knit in 2023 video, which will probably just talk about mainly the things I made myself, with maybe a few highlights of what I made others, because I don't actually have any of those things anymore. So just a few photos of that. But yeah, thank you for joining me. I think that is enough content for today. I will try and get those other videos recorded sometime soon, but no promises. Children. Summertime. And yeah, I will hopefully see you again in a couple of weeks for another podcast. Otherwise, catch me in one of those extended videos at some point. And happy knitting, everyone. I hope you have a great summer or winter, whatever hemisphere you're in, of knitting away, enjoying your craft, and having a lovely, cozy or sweaty time with your knitting and with your family. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.